And Kinderlach, good morning, good morning. Today we're going to be hearing two beautiful stories from the book called A House Full of Love, the story of Rebbetzin Batsheva Kanievsky by Shmuel Blitz. The book is an amazing book, has a lot of very beautiful drawings made by Leah Krohn. I highly suggest that you get it. There's a lot of inspiration here. She was a true tzaddikas, an incredible Balas Chesed and Oheves Yisrael. And I wanted to share two stories that were very touching. These are from her young life, when she was a little kid even. Rebbetzin Batsheva was born. This story is called The Dream. Rebbetzin Batsheva was born into a very famous family. Her father was the great Rav Yosef Shalom Elyashiv, one of the great tzaddikim of Yerushalayim, the Gadol Ador, eventually. And her grandfather was Rav Aryeh Levin, who was known as the tzaddik of Yerushalayim. Batsheva was especially close to her grandmother, Rebbetzin Batsheva Levin, Rav Aryeh's wife. Batsheva would visit her often, learning as much as she possibly could from her. Once, when Batsheva was a young girl, her grandmother became very sick. Everyone was saying Tehillim for her, and Batsheva davened all day and into the night, davening for her grandmother's recovery. Holding the Tehillim in her small fingers, Batsheva dozed off, and suddenly, in her sleep, she screamed. In the middle of her sleep, she screamed. What happened? She was dreaming that a scary-looking man was pulling at her grandmother's bed. Leave her alone, Batsheva shouted. This was in her dream. Go away, you have no right to be here. Leave her alone. In her dream, she grabbed the other side of the bed and would not let go. Even though the man was bigger and stronger, she held on tightly. Finally, the man gave up and just disappeared. Trembling and scared, Batsheva woke up and told her mother the dream. Her father, Rav Elyashiv, was listening. He heard what she said, and he too became frightened. He rushed to his mother-in-law's house on the other side of Yerushalayim to see how she was. He arrived and asked the doctor how Rebbetzin Levin was doing. Just 20 minutes ago, her situation worsened, the doctor replied, and then suddenly the danger passed. 20 minutes ago, Rav Elyashiv thought? That was exactly the time when Batsheva began shouting at the man in her dream. He arrived home and told his daughter, You saved your grandmother's life. It was your tefillos and your tears that saved her. Wow. Batsheva grew up to become the great Rebbetzin Batsheva Kanievsky, the legendary mother of the Jewish people. People would come to her every day, all her life, to visit and receive her brachos. Amazing story. I'm going to read you one more story that's related to when she was a little girl and her connection with her grandfather, Rav Aryeh Levin. But as you could tell, she was an amazing tzaddikas, even from a little young age. When Batsheva was a young girl, she lived in the city of Yerushalayim. At the time, it was a dangerous time for the Jewish people to live there. Yerushalayim was a divided city. The Arabs lived in the eastern part of the city, and the Jews lived in the western part. Batsheva lived at the very, very edge of the Jewish part of the city. Arab soldiers with rifles would sometimes hide and shoot at Jews while they walked down the street. Sometimes bombs would fall right near Batsheva's house, but Batsheva had to go outside. She had to go to school, and she had errands to run, but it was scary for her to leave her home. One day she went to her grandfather, as we read in the last story, was Rabbi Aryeh Levin, and she asked, "What do I do? I'm afraid to walk in the street," she told him. "I cannot stay in the house all day. Please help me, Zadie." He smiled at her and said, "I have an answer for you. Each time before you leave the house, I want you to open up your Tehillim and say Tehillim 91, the Tehillim known as Yoshev B'Seser. This helps protect us and reminds us that nothing happens unless Hashem wants it to happen. Nothing happens unless Hashem wants it to happen." "I can do that," she answered. "I love to say Tehillim." Her grandfather gave her more advice. Also, while you are out, you should repeat over and over the words Ein Od Milvado. There is nothing besides Hashem. Then you can be sure that Hashem is going to watch over you and you will be just fine. It says, then you can be sure that Hashem will watch over you. A smile returned to Batsheva's face. She trusted her grandfather and trusted Hashem. Now she felt safer. When she was older, she would tell people, "Sometimes when I went out, I would see bullets even flying all around. But Hashem pushed the bullets away so that they could not harm me." This was the emunah, the trust in Hashem, that Batsheva Kanievsky had, even as a young girl. Wow, what an amazing two sets of stories.